I've naturally built this physique at 19, and here's the split I followed while working out and studying at Harvard. And it's the split I'm going to continue to run this summer because it maximizes muscle gains and efficiency, while being super fun, super enjoyable, giving me crazy good pumps, and building me an aesthetic physique by focusing on the muscles I want to prioritize. Anyways, let's get into it. I'll be going over my split and every single routine I hit. Sets, the exercises, everything you need. Day 1 is push-a hitting chest, triceps, and front delts. Incline Smith, 2 sets to failure. Flat Smith, 1 set to failure. I would do the chest press, but it was actually too light for me. Machine chest fly, 2 sets to failure. Starting with the compound movements and then moving to the chest isolation movement is great for building a huge chest. If you start with the chest fly to pre-exhaust your chest and then go to the compound movement, your chest will be fatigued, meaning the other muscles, the triceps, the front delts, will take over a little bit. And this is not good if you're trying to prioritize and target the chest like I am. So that's why I do it in this order. Next, I hit the Smith machine shoulder press. As you can see, I love the Smith machine. It offers maximum stability, and therefore you can target a muscle perfectly with maximum intensity, with way less risk of injury, messing up form, etc. I then do single arm tricep extensions, which I didn't get a video of today, so here's me doing them another day. And this is a great exercise because it offers full range of motion, hits all of the triceps, and you can give yourself assisted reps if you want to. And then I finish up with overhead extensions, 1 set to failure. Just great to hit the tricep in every way. Now we're on to pull day, where I hit back, rear delts, and lateral delts. This is one of my modifications. Instead of hitting biceps on this day, I hit lateral delts. Why? Because I want to prioritize biceps. And if you hit biceps after back, they're slightly fatigued already, meaning they'll get slightly less stimulus. So to especially bias the biceps and force them to grow, I'm hitting them on my leg day, which I'll get into after this. Anyways, for pull day, I start off with the lat pull down doing 2 sets to failure. This is the staple of back exercises, the best of the best. Next, I hit the cable row doing 2 sets to failure. This is my favorite attachment, offers great range of motion, you can really feel it in your lats. To hit the upper back, I hit this exercise using the dumbbells, basically a T-bar row, and I do it 2 sets to failure. For upper back, I suggest doing any movement where your palms are facing down, you have chest support for stability, and your elbows are flared. All of which can be done with just a bench and dumbbells as I do here, because I have limited equipment. Next, to hit the greatest movement of all time for rear delts, the single arm cable rear delt pull. Most people do the reverse pec deck for rear delts, and that's a solid exercise, but this has way more range of motion. Pro tip on single arm movements, rest in between arms so that the second arm doesn't get less stimulus. Finally, I finish up pull day with 2 sets to failure of dumbbell lateral raises. Imagine pulling the weight out and not up, and imagine pulling with your elbows using your hands as hooks, and keep your arms slightly bent. I'm giving a lot of advice because this is one of the hardest muscles to feel. Now we're on to day 3, leg day A, hitting all of legs and biceps. I start off with the Smith machine squat doing 2 sets to failure. I love using the Smith for squats. And if you want to bias your quads like me, raise your heels with a plate. Now I hit the hammies with 2 sets to failure of Smith machine RDLs. You're essentially stretching your hamstrings and keeping your back straight. This is great for your lower back and your hamstrings. I stand on a platform to increase my range of motion, and make sure to use straps. Next, I hit leg extensions, 2 sets to failure. Everyone does these, they're a staple of leg day. And then I finish up the hammies with 2 sets to failure of the seated hamstring curl. This actually hits all of the hamstrings slightly better than the lying hamstring curl. I do as many reps as I can lean forward, and then I lean back to squeeze out some extra reps. This feels insane. And finally, I hit calves with 3 sets to failure of calf raises on the leg press. Everyone thinks calf raises are all about the point, but it's actually all about the stretch at the bottom. So make sure to do partials and have your feet low enough that your heels can really go down deep. Finally, I hit biceps, 2 sets to failure of bicep curls, and I didn't get a video, but 2 sets to failure of hammer curls. I hit them earlier when I really want to prioritize them, or I hit legs first when I want to hit legs more. Day 4 is a rest day, and now we're on to day 5, chest and back, my favorite. I start chest and back day with my favorite movement, the incline Smith machine, 2 sets to failure. Next, I hit 2 sets to failure of the lat pull down. I go back and forth between chest and back exercises because I don't want to prioritize one over the other. I then hit 2 sets to failure of my cable row, using some momentum to hit a few extra reps with maximum intensity. Now I'm back to hitting chest with 2 sets to failure of the machine chest fly. Full stacking, of course, because you gotta lift big to get big. Now I finish up back with 2 sets to failure of the T-bar row. Chest and back day is only 5 movements, but that's all you need to maximize gains for your chest and back. Now we're on to day 6, shoulders and arms day. I start with lateral delts to prioritize them as they're a super aesthetic muscle and super hard to grow as a natural. I do 3 sets of dumbbell lateral raises to failure. I do 2 heavy sets and then a lighter set with perfect form. This is my lighter set. And then I hit the rear delts, 2 sets to failure. I start with lateral delts and rear delts because they're super important for well-rounded 3D boulder shoulders. I then hit double cable bicep curls, 2 sets to failure. Once I'm done with the cable bicep curls, I do 2 sets to failure of rope hammer curls. Now that I've fully hit the bicep flexors, I'm on to finishing shoulders with 2 sets to failure of the Smith machine shoulder press. Have the incline slightly below 90 degrees for the best gains and safety. I then do triceps, hitting my 2 sets to failure of single arm tricep extensions. Now we're on to day 7, leg day B. I start with the leg press doing 1 set near failure, so 1 to 2 reps away, and then 2 sets to complete failure. Now that I've started off the leg day destroying my quads, I do 2 sets to failure of Smith machine RDLs. Next we're back to hitting quads with single leg extensions. I do these because the quad extension just hasn't been heavy enough for me. As usual, 2 sets to failure each leg, and then 2 sets to failure of seated hamstring curls. As you can see, you can really push intense on these, so if you you think you're done, you probably have a few more reps in you. Finally, I finished up with a set of sissy squats to failure. I started doing these on the Smith machine for extra weight, and that's been banger. And then day 8 is rest. So yeah, this is the whole split and all the routines I followed while I was at Harvard. I'm working on some videos for you guys like what I ate in a day at Harvard, some advice videos about what I've learned, and way more, so stay tuned and thanks for the support.